If you were granted a tax extension by the IRS for the 2024 tax season, the deadline to file is Tuesday, October 15th. Here with some tips for those filers, we've got Andrew Gordon, who's a tax attorney, CPA, and partner at Gordon Law. Andrew, great to have you back on the program here with us. If someone isn't able to file by Tuesday, what should they do?
Thank you very much, Brad, for having me. It's always great to be on the program. And you're spot on. Next Tuesday is the tax deadline. And unfortunately, there are no more extensions. But if you cannot file, it's typically because of one of two reasons, or both. It's either because you can't file, you don't know how much you owe, or you can't pay. And so if you don't know how much you owe because you don't have a tax document, you haven't completed your bookkeeping, or for whatever reason it may be, it still makes sense to file with an estimate and later amend. And that's because there is a substantial penalty for failure to file. In fact, the penalty for failing to file is 10 times the penalty of failing to pay. The failure to file penalty is 5% per month that you fail to file. So if you can file as soon as you can after the deadline, that's still better than waiting longer and longer. And if you can't pay, it still makes sense to file as soon as you can. In fact, the IRS is willing to work with most taxpayers on a payment plan and allow you to pay over time. And so if you're holding back on filing because you're afraid you can't pay, you don't have the money now, that's not a good reason not to file. You should still file because you'll save yourself substantially on penalties.
So how can someone set themselves up now ahead of the 2025 tax season so they don't end up falling behind again?
Yeah, one great strategy is to pay estimates quarterly. If you know that you're going to have a tax balance at the end of the year, both to reduce potential penalties and interest, and also just to help with your own cash flow, it may make sense to pay quarterly estimates based on what you either owed the prior year or what you think you'll owe this year. And that way, when tax time comes or even the extension deadline comes, you're not worrying because you don't have the money to pay.